Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a Rolex certified pre-owned Oyster Perpetual 41 from 2020 to 2025. We had the first ever generation of 41mm Rolex Oyster Perpetual sports watches. Of course, for 2025, there was a light redesign of the watch, meaning the first gen timepiece is now discontinued. And this year, 2026, marks 100 years of the original Oyster water-resistant case, so we have a lot to talk about. So this is the discontinued reference 124300 in 904L stainless steel, 41mm with a lacquer green dial. You can see in profile, it's a pretty thin watch. These timepieces are slender, and all things considered, because it does not have a date and it is a simple timepiece, it is 11.7 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip. You can see that the case measures 47.4 millimeters, and end link to end link, it is 51.3 with a 21 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. So it is a bigger OP, and I will be perfectly honest, it might be a little bit too large for my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. So let's take a quick look here, put it on the wrist, see how it fits, see how it feels. We'll peel back my sleeve just a little bit, and then you can see that it's broad, it's right out to the edge. I'm going to let you guys be the judge here of whether my wrist is the smallest wrist that can wear this or the largest wrist that cannot. And I'm not going to lie, with the solid end link bracelet, it's not a given. So we'll zoom out a little bit, give you a bit more perspective. You can decide whether this works. I would wear this, but to be perfectly honest, I would prefer one of the smaller sizes. I love the dial, however. And in profile, like I said, 11.7 millimeters thick, with the absence of a date or a complication here means it is quite a bit slimmer than a GMT, a Daytona, or a sub. And the watch is substantial, though I wouldn't call it heavy. In case you're curious what the original OP41 weighs, or actually will be clear because we have this in grams, and gram is a unit of mass, not a unit of weight. There you go. That's actually a substantial watch. It's not super heavy. It's not going to be grating if you don't like to be constantly aware of your watch, but it's not toy-like. It's substantial, and if your reference point is a sub or a GMT, this is going to feel right on the wrist. Taking a look at the bracelet, you can see it's a 3-link design, satin tops. We do have polished outer faces. Removable links, where featured, are removable by screwdriver, so you can take your jeweler's screwdriver and start sizing this up. You can see something that was new on this generation of the OP, previously not featured. We've got a easy link 5mm tool-free adjustment, and I will snap this out so you can see it easily. The way this works is it snaps onto a little bar within the mechanism itself. It's double hinged. So that's 5mm of tool-free adjustment. Snap out, snap in, no need for a tool. Very secure, but if you want more adjustability, let's look inside there. You can see there are actually some divots drilled in pairs inside the clasp mechanism. Probably better see from this angle with the Easy Link deployed. So if you want to move the spring bar in and out, you can actually change the anchoring point of the bracelet and fine-tune the fit. And this was the first generation of OP that had Easy Link. Previously, they did not. Of course, we have the debossed crown, which has been a long-time signature of the OP models. We've got a lift lock system here that's actually spring-loaded. There's a beak and a hook, so although there's no clamshell lock like you'd find on a sub or GMT, this is actually quite secure. You can't just pull this thing open. You do need to unlock it. 904L steel, what is it? Rolex calls it oyster steel. It is a particularly high nickel content steel, which means that it is very resistant to corrosion. So if it is exposed to sweat or sea salt, you don't have to worry about it rusting. 316L steel, commonly used in the watch industry, can rust if it's exposed to, for example, sea salt and not rinsed. Not this. Now, for 2026, we are celebrating 100 years of the original Oyster case. And while that did not invent the water-resistant watch, it certainly popularized it. It wouldn't be until 1933 that that case would be combined with the Perpetual rotor winding system to create the Oyster Perpetual. But you can see the design of that original Oyster is still evident here. Now, it's not quite as bubble-backed as the original because it hasn't been adapted for an automatic. It was made with an automatic from the beginning. But one of the characteristic features of most Oyster Perpetuals over the years, the domed bezel. We've got a twin lock crown in steel. You know, because it has that little slash under the crown. We have a screwed-in Oyster case back with a combination of polish and satin. The watch is 100 meters water-resistant with that screw-down crown. Green lacquer dial. We have white gold logo. hands and indices, so they won't oxidize or tarnish with time. They'll remain forever comely. And you can see Rolex's distinctive and proprietary chromolite blue lume. Inside, the watch is all Rolex. Rolex makes its own steels, makes its own cases, bracelets, dials, hands, clasps, movements. Even the Paraflex shock protection and the lubricants used in this movement are Rolex manufactured. So this is probably the world's most vertically integrated manufacturer. The caliber is a bidirectional automatic winder with the rotor on a ball bearing, 4 Hz beat rate, 31 joules, 70-hour power reserve with a Liga-formed nickel phosphorus anti-magnetic and low friction and low mass Rolex Chronergy escapement. It does feature stop seconds or hacking. It features a superlative chronometer certification, so the movement has been COSC certified, but then as a fully assembled watch, Rolex tests it to run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours, hence superlative chronometer. It has a full balance bridge and a free sprung balance, making for shock resistance, but also with the free sprung balance, very precise adjustment. It has an overcoil hairspring, so no matter what position it's in, crown up, crown down, dial down, crown left, crown right, or any askew position on your dresser at night, it will keep consistent time because of that Breguet overcoil. And the hairspring is made of a niobium zirconium blue oxidized alloy Rolex calls Parachrome Bleu, and it is highly anti-magnetic, so this watch is shock resistant, water resistant, and magnetically resistant. It is the full package, and it is discontinued. So if you love this model, reach out to Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase and pricing details. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed and authenticated by Rolex. Should any reconditioning be necessary, it will be to a Rolex certified standard, and any parts invested Rolex factory original. Should the initial retail box, paper, and accessory set still accompany the watch, it will be included with the sale. But no matter what, a certified pre-owned box and paper set starts with an outer box, a leatherette travel pouch with suede lining, a warranty card that embodies the 2-year globally valid Rolex-backed warranty. Note, this is not a retail warranty, but backed by Rolex and actionable at any of its authorized points of sales and service. A leatherette wallet includes the warranty terms and conditions manual. A holographic hang tag marks this as a certified pre-owned Rolex watch, and a manual details Rolex's values as a company, the certified pre-owned program, care, feeding, service, and use of your Rolex, locations of points of sales and service, and details of Rolex.com. Rolex certified pre-owned watches are backed only by Rolex.